Greetings and welcome to another Patch Notes video here at Words About Games, a weekly video series that lets us host discussions and post opinion pieces about our various thoughts on games, gaming, and the industry. Today I've been inspired by a game I've been playing called Coffee Talk. Among other things, it's an incredibly relaxing game, telling you its story while its lo-fi jazzy soundtrack hums away soothingly in the background. Playing it was a chill experience, which was nice. When I play games to relax, a lot of them are challenging, intense, or dramatic. Sometimes I just need to throw a game on and chill out or unwind after a particularly stressful day. So Coffee Talk got me thinking about putting together a list of some of my favourite games to chill to. Even when it first launched and it felt a bit bare bones, playing No Man's Sky was still a very relaxing experience. I didn't hate the game all that much when it came out back in 2016, and one of the main reasons for this was because it was actually a fairly relaxing experience. I kind of lost track of the game for a while before the big No Man's Sky Next update, but it's entered my rotation, and I come back to it every now and again when the mood strikes. No Man's Sky has a big, empty universe for you to explore. You can follow the narrative breadcrumbs, or spend a ton of time performing an in-depth survey of a single planet or star system, become a trader and try to make bank, spend your time carving out a home on a single planet, and quite a bit more. Outside of finding some pretty spooky aliens that one time, I've always found this game to be incredibly relaxing. Flying around a planet, exploring different waypoints, and building a house while some chilled music accompanies me really puts me in a relaxed headspace. Antichamber is one of my favourite puzzle games of all time. On paper, it doesn't even sound all that relaxing, being a mind-bending psychological experience designed to subvert your expectations at every turn and make you solve puzzles in ways you never expect or even think to apply to a video game, especially back in 2013 when this game was originally released. But wandering the sterile, interconnected hallways and rooms of Antichamber is actually quite a soothing experience. And even when I get stuck on a particular puzzle, I never felt the usual frustration of trying and failing to break past it. That it's both challenging and relaxing is one of the many reasons I still wholeheartedly recommend this game to anyone that will listen more than 7 years after its release on Steam. Have you played it? You should play it. It's criminally underappreciated. It's a game where an almost zen-like state of calm washes over me as I make my way through its ingeniously interconnected rooms and corridors. It's also the only puzzle game I ever replay, despite having completed the game multiple times and knowing the solutions to each of its puzzles. I tend not to play Stardew Valley all that often. The reason for that isn't because I don't enjoy the game, far from it. I recently fought hard to have it included in our top 10 games of the decade list in a recent episode of Friendly Debates. The trouble is, it's so easy to get into a relaxing groove with the game that it's not something I can sit down and drop an hour or two into. When I play Stardew Valley, that's generally an entire day gone for me. The first time I ever loaded this game up, I played it for 11 hours straight. It's just such an easy game to get lost in. There are plenty of quests and personal goals for you to achieve, whether you're rebuilding the community centre or trying to clear out your farmland, or trying to build your relationship with your favourite love interest. There's always something you can achieve if you just play for another 20 minutes. And it's such a relaxing time that you won't notice when those minutes start to turn into hours. It probably helps that Stardew Valley itself is an idyllic, peaceful place to live. Honestly, it's without a doubt probably the video game world I'd most like to live in if I could, and a large part of that is simply because of how relaxing a life that would be. A Short Hike is an utterly charming adventure game. Its premise is simple. You're an anthropomorphic bird waiting for a phone call. The only place you can get a signal is at the top of Hawk Peak, so you embark on a hike to reach the summit. There's no epic quest, no world-changing consequences, no taxing puzzles, and no devastating combat. You simply go for a hike through a provincial park to reach the top of a mountain. You can head straight for the summit if you like. The way is clearly signposted, and there's really nothing stopping you. Or you can explore along the way, meeting the quirky residents of Hawk Peak Provincial Park and seeing what they're up to. Everyone's pretty cheerful and generally enjoying a fairly relaxing day. You'll meet people building sand castles, starting a climbing club, looking for hidden treasure with a metal detector, and more. You can help them out if you like, and they might even reward you with something that'll help you explore a bit more of the island. Hawk Peak feels like a place that would be a great holiday spot. And honestly, sometimes it's nice to go on a journey in a video game that doesn't have dire world-ending consequences attached to it. What a short hike does for adventure games, Islanders does for city-building games. It's a game that understands the fundamental rules of how a city builder works, but throws most of them out to create a streamlined, relaxing experience that's less about micromanaging various systems and worrying about a series of complex interconnected mechanics, and more about getting out of your way and letting you get creative. All you have to do is place buildings to score enough points to unlock the next set of buildings, and keep going until you either tap out or unlock the next island. It's incredibly simple, yet highly addictive, which also makes it a really relaxing game to play. By jettisoning most of the traditional gameplay mechanics of a city building game and focusing on the bare essentials, Islanders becomes one of the chillest experiences I've had in the past few years of gaming, and certainly the chillest city builder I think I've ever played. It's a game you can stick on for 20 minutes if you're just looking to unwind after a stressy day, or something you can kick back and relax with for a couple of hours if you're after something a bit meatier, which is a rare combo in a video game. The Division 2 might seem like a really weird choice for a list of games to play when you need to chill. It's a live service game where you're stuck on a loot grinding treadmill of constantly having to manage your inventory to maximize the effectiveness and power of your equipment, always looking for that new gun or armor that will increase your gear score. It's also a third-person shooter, a game that sees you in constant combat with its many enemy factions, complete with all the gunplay and explosions that I'd normally be aiming to avoid when looking for a game to play to unwind and relax. And yet, that's exactly the role The Division 2 has taken in my life since its release last March. It's become my go-to podcast game. The game I tend to stick on while I'm catching up on my many podcasts that I listen to in my spare time, because my brain is never satisfied with simply sitting down and listening to a thing. It's difficult to pin down why this is, though I imagine it's some combination of the lack of a hardcore challenge and just how nice and streamlined the third-person action gameplay is. The Division 2 isn't a game that challenges me or requires my full attention, and so for the past few months, it's become my go-to game to play while I'm listening to a podcast. Thanks very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, consider sticking around here at Words About Games. Our content includes review impressions of games big and small, a weekly podcast dedicated to discussing the happenings in and around the games industry, weekly opinion videos, reactions, debate-driven top 5 and top 10 lists, a regular Hall of Fame series where we discuss our favourite games, and indie game spotlights. We also stream every Friday and Saturday at twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. Most importantly, have a brilliant day.